Namaste to all the viewers on this national webinar series, Yoga Ramayana Vishwakosha History 108 Days program. Continuing our series on Sri Raghava Pancharatnam, in today's session, Professor K. Subramaniam ji will be speaking about two eminent personalities, Sri Ramachandra Prabhu and Parashuram, and how gradually the character of Parashuram weans off.
वंदे शंभुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वंदे जगत्कारणं वंदे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वंदे पशूनां पतिं वंदे सूर्यशशांक वह्निनयनं वंदे मुकुन्दप्रियं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे शिवं शंकरं श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयं सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वयरत्नदीपं आजानुबाहु अरविन्ददलायताक्षौ रामो रामो निशाचर विनाशकरौ नमामि. Esteemed friends, Sri Ramachandra Prabhu is an ocean of tranquility. He is a sea of serenity, especially when there is a cyclone in front of him, especially when there is a tempest before him, especially when there is a dragon in front of him to devour him. When he was just married, there was the sudden arrival of the cyclonic Parsuram. He was like a whirlwind. He was like a whirlpool. He was like a dragon. He was like a swallowing demon, shouting, screaming, using foul words of rebuke. Parsuram arrived to teach Rama a lesson. Parsuram was not happy when Sri Ramachandra Prabhu lifted that bow of Shiva. Unfortunately, the moment Rama held it up, it broke into pieces. This message, this news reached the ears of Parsuram. Why Parsuram? The entire universe had the vibrations of the breaking Shivadhanas. Unable to tolerate the insult meted out to the Shivadhanas, unable to tolerate at another Rama while he is still, Parsuram is still alive, Bhargava Rama arrived on the scene to find fault with Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. On one side, you have Parsuram like a tempest. On another side, you find Sri Ramachandra Prabhu like an ocean of tranquility, calmness. wrath, anger, spitting fire, emitting sparks of fire was Parsuram. And quietly, peacefully, swallowing without any fuss is Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. It's a beautiful contrast. On one side, violent Parsuram. On another side, silent Sri Ram. One is threatening, the other is smiling. One is shouting, the other is just assimilating. Absolutely no reaction negatively. Both were a beautiful contrast. Now, a question arises. Many people have asked me, Parsuram is an avatar? Yes. Sri Ram is an avatar? Yes. How can two avatars be there at the same point of time? Why not? I give a few examples. Small children play with soap water. They will have a small pipe, tube-like thing, and they dip it in the soap water and they blow the air gently. When the air is blown, there are balloon-like bubbles. One balloon-like bubble comes, and from out of that balloon-like bubble is another bubble springing up. There are now two bubbles, two balloon-like bubbles. One is small, the other is large. The large one breaks, the small one remains. Similarly, Parsuram is a product of the same divinity. Sri Ram is also a product of the same divinity. Sri Ram is like one balloon-like bubble. Parsuram is like another balloon-like bubble. Each is connected with the other. The stronger bubble remains, the thinner, larger bubble bursts. Now Parsuram is like that larger bubble, bursting bubble, violent bubble. Both are avatars. And avatars are of various types. Amsha avatar. A particular point is to be highlighted for the benefit of mankind. Truthfulness, for example. Righteousness, for example. Innocence, for example. Purity, for example. That is only one aspect of divinity. That single aspect of divinity has to be highlighted to the society. Therefore, they are called Amsha. Amsha is one aspect of divinity. Aveshavatar. And it is nothing but an emotional outburst of divinity for a purpose. Parsuram is like that. Avesham. Highly emotional, greatly excited, full of revolutionary anger. That is Parsuram. And Narottam, the best of mankind, the best of humanity, the best of all the human beings is Sri Ram. And Sri Krishna Paramatma is Purna Avatar, full incarnation. When you have the divinity manifesting in nature on the earth, we have various dimensions, aspects displayed. On the first day, the moon is very thin. Second day it grows a little larger. On the full moon day, you find the complete Chandra Bhagavan. Similarly, we find divinity as an incarnation in various forms. Various aspects are expressed, various dimensions are shown. I give a smaller example. Sun is the same, Paramatma. Sun is the same, divinity. Sun is the same, effulgence of divinity. That sun is reflected in a mirror. If you have a convex mirror, the reflection will be in one way. If you have a concave mirror, the reflection will be in another way. In one mirror, sun is enlarged, pratibhimbam. In another mirror, the same sun is of diminutive size. If it is a pure mirror, it is the same toto reflected, Purnam. In one mirror you find the reflection to be large. In another mirror you find the reflection to be small. At another mirror you find the reflection to be corrugated. At another reflection will be the ditto, just prototype. And that is Sri Krishna Paramatma Purna Avatar. Now, very many people have the doubt, how can the God be present in two forms at the same time? One is Parsuram, the other is Sri Ram. It is possible. One has come with a particular purpose. When once the duty is over, it will be handed over to the other person. In my younger days, there used to be overnight dramas. In the drama, no single person can enact the role of Sri Krishna the entire night. First 2 hours, one gentleman will play the role of Krishna. Next 3 hours, another gentleman will play the role of Krishna. The role of Krishna is the same. In the initial stages, Krishna may be playing with gopis. Same Krishna in the second half or third half is Gita Krishna or Kurukshetra Sri Krishna. There his role is different. Earlier the role is different. And 2 different people take 2 different roles. Same divinity takes 2 roles. One is the first aspect of revolutionary Parsuram. And the second is calm, cooled Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. In the presence of that violent Parsuram is this silent Sri Ram. This Parsuram is the son of Rishi Jamadagni. Jama means Yama. Yama is strict. Agni is fire. Yama is discipline. Agni is fire. Fire of discipline. And his wife is Renuka. Renu is a particle. Renuka is a small particle. Particles are thoughts. Small particles are small thoughts. Mind is full of Renus or Renukas. This mind of Renukas, when it is pure, will be in a position to hold God in it. Renuka goes to the river, collects the wet sand. All the particles are formed into a pot, and into that pot of wet sand, water is collected. That water is God. Renuka is a mind of purity. And that pure mind is capable of holding a God in it. And it is a mind of concentration. The same mind one day went to the river, looked at Kartaviryaarjun and his many wives enjoying Jalakrida, playing the water sports. She got a little tempted. Her mind lost the purity. Her mind became not concentrated. And therefore, she was unable to make the pot with the wet sand. That means the sanctity is lost. Purity is lost. Chastity is lost. Samadhi sthiti is lost. Mind has become impure and is unable to hold God. And the fire of discipline is angry. And that fire of discipline ordered Parsuram to behead, to kill, to annihilate the mind. Fire of discipline Yamadagni, mind Renuka, and Parsuram are not three different characters. In sadhana, we require the discipline to control the mind. When the mind is a little mischievous, the discipline has to take the axe to annihilate the mind and restart. When we commit a mistake while writing, we rub it, we erase it, we remove it. Similarly, the mind that has committed the mistake, that is tempted, that has lost purity, is to be removed, is to be erased, and that is Parshuram. We may have to be strictly self-disciplined. We may have to do away with the past. We may have to bury the mistakes. We may have to kill the mischievous mind. It is a Puranic story. It's a mythological story of Atma Sadhana. Now that Parshuram, who is violent, unable to tolerate the mischievous kings, haughty were the kings, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Kartaviryaarjuna is a Kshatriya. He had 1,000 hands. That is to indicate he has enormous power. He was conceited, he was proud, he was haughty. He thought he could do anything and everything. He went to the ashram of a rishi. There he found a cow Kamadhenu. He stole it. When the rishi came, he beheaded him, killed him. Are we not seeing such powerful people now in position? They think might is right. Might is right is a jangilla. A lion is mighty and it will kill the weak animals in a civilized society. Might is right is not to be observed. Mighty people should protect the weak people, that is a civilized society. In a forest society where there are only animals, people are like cannibals, the strong person exploits the weak person. In a cultured society of mankind, the strong man of power and position should not exploit the weak and the meek, should protect and promote the weak. That is the right way of living. Parshuram could not tolerate these kings misbehaving in society. Kartaviryaarjun was very violent. Kartaviryaarjun was very haughty, proud and conceited, and he was a menace to society. He was a bad role model, rather role reversal. He was a person doing damage to the peaceful coexistence of life. He was destroying the harmonious coexistence of the people by his haughtiness. And the fellow had to be taught a lesson. His hands are to be removed, his power is to be chopped off, he is to be killed. And therefore, Parashuram came with an axe to kill the haughty people. But the one mistake is, while being haughty, he lost the discrimination. Parashuram became very powerful, no doubt. He lost his Vichakshana Jnana. All the Kshatriyas were removed by him. Now Sri Ramachandra Prabhu belonged to that Kshatriya community. Parashuram was unable to find Ram to be different from others. Ram was blessed with modesty. Sri Ram is a cultured person. Sri Ram is a person of modesty. He is not like Kartavirya Arjun. Also, it is nothing but another dimension of divinity. While Parashuram is one dimension of divinity to do away with haughtiness, Sri Ramachandra Prabhu is another dimension of divinity to overcome all violence. Both the people are facing each other. In a modern film of two different people acted by a single person, we find same divinity is taking two shapes. When the milder, nobler, more divine divinity comes, the other violent divinity automatically disappears. Parashuram challenged Ram to break the will bow of Vishnu. Sri Ram simply touched. And by his very touch there was a metamorphosis. There was change. Parashuram was able to understand the reality. His time is up to withdraw. The task assigned to him is to be stopped. His violence is no more the way to set right the society. Therefore, Parashuram withdrew, looking at the ocean of tranquility, silence. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, with a gentle smile, Sri Rama was able to change Parashuram, make him withdraw from the field. What a wonderful character of Sri Ramachandra Prabhu, a great yogi. Nobody can do any harm to a person of yogic practices, yogic silence, yogic spirituality, yogic tranquility, yogic serenity, and that is Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. Parashuram withdrew. Sri Ramachandra Prabhu's effulgence was established. Mangalam Kosalendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam.
My heartfelt thanks to Professor Ji for telling us about the avatars Sri Ramachandra and Parashuram. Tomorrow we'll come up with another session. Namaste.